Hello and welcome back to my videos. In this video we will speak about the project I have created, the microservice for authentication, and in this video we want to create the web interface. We will not validate anything right now, but I will just type up the CSS code and the HTML code in Flask, so you can having the web form in Flask and see how I'm doing it before we are creating the code behind this one. And for this I will create a little bit in the middleware. We have the provider verify middleware, and I will do it here below the provider here. So before we are starting, I really hope you want to subscribe to this channel. You can do it with pressing the ding in the right corner below. I'll appreciate that very much. And if you have any questions, please make them in the comments fields below. I'll try to answer them. If you have any kind of feedback, I'll appreciate to receive it. So thank you for your attentions, and thank you for watching this video with me and how we can create the web forms in the Python Flask framework. Thank you so much, and then let's continue for the code you were watching. Before we are jumping into the web, I will just make something here, non-provider check. That's the URLs I don't want we have to check, and this should be the static folder. The static folder in Flask is where you place the style sheet. It should be the style sheet, the JavaScript, and something like that, images if you have that. And then we have the pirate icon. I think that's the name. And then it's only if it starts with, I will make that code so we don't need to say /static/style/main.css. It's just static and then pirate icon. Then we need the provider public check. That's meaning a URL we need to check the public. So in this case we will make it like if you have a public secret, then we will check about it's okay and the provider is okay. But I will come to this. Not in this video, it will be in the next video. In this video I will only show how we can setting the web forming up. So this is more the UI interface we want to create. We will just say if the request and the request path, sorry, it's lower here, and start with, we'll just say non-provider, provider check, and then we're going inside here to say login info and say the middleware. And just say lower and say this one, do not provider check this path. And then we're going to say elif request and slower and start with. Yeah, I can see we're having a little bit error up here. Whoops. And then we need the public here. And then we just say path. Else we have that's magic code down we have created in the previous video, and we just put it one tab in. And then we say login info middleware. I'll just copy this one. Do public secrets check for this path. Public secret or access token check. That's what we're doing inside here. That's only if you start on the form. So now we need to create the form controller so we can get access from the web browser. So let's create here in the Flask and create one called form. and then we are ready to say class Flask form, and we do something inside. I'll create that function, of course. And then we're going for the app here, and we need to scrolling down here and add it in the bottom here. Just copy this and go in here and say the form sign in. That's what we want. And Flask form sign in, that's what we want for now. And signing in here, and we have a get method, and then we need the post method. We both need the get and the post for this case. I'll just go up here and say from library Flask form import Flask form. That's what we want. And you can see we don't have any kind of sign-in function. So let's going back here in the form and say static method, and then we are here and return something here, test. I cannot remember what we need to test, so let me check. So let's go up here and say from Flask import render template, sorry, and then we just go inside here and say render templates and just say main. Let's say sign in dot HTML. That's fine. I'll just say this one, and then we create here we create a template, and inside the template we want to say new file HTML, call it sign in, and for now we just say hello world and save it, run it up, and then we're going for the browser on the port 5000. Let's do this. And when you're coming for the browser, you will see the connection to the Mongo is failed. That's because we basically need to move this inside a form folder, as we say it's working like form. And then we need to go inside here, and then we should be able to run again and hello world, and now we are ready. So I will just cheat a little bit. I will create a folder here called static. That's the static file we have, and then I will create some small logos and copy that in. As you can see now, we have if you minimize this and going for static, we have a lot of files. We have all the icons we have here, and the logo. The logo I've been buying on Fiverr. I'm really happy for this logo, and this looks like it's nice. So if you just follow my video, you'll probably see I've changed a little bit in my thumbnails, and because I will try to do something new. And in this one we will create, where's my templates? Here. I'll create a new one. We will call it main, and inside here I will just call it authentication. Yes, and inside here we want the header, and the image should be in the static, and then we need the image logo PNG, and then we need the block. We're working in the GJA template, so we'll have a header here, and block. We copy this, we just say content and edit here. Then we need a little bit about the Fiverr icon and something like that. So we're going up here in the top, and I'll just say link real Apple Touch icon, yes, sizes is equal to 180 and 180, and ref is static, and then Apple Touch icon. That's what we want here. We need one more. We'll call this for is a type, and the type should be image, PNG, and Realize icon. And then we going for the size should be 32 and 32, and this is the favorite icon, this one. And we have the same again. Just going and save it. The shortcut icon should be the favorite icon, should be shortcut icon. We don't have any type for this, don't have any size for this, we don't have the link for that. And that's the link. And we need the manifest. It's I think it's used on Android, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Whoops. And here we go. And then we need the style sheet. We'll create the main in the static. We'll have a style in the main. So we need a link, and this one is style. And we're going for this one, so static and style main CSS. And we're just going inside here and say new style, and then a style sheet. Let's go in for the browser and see what happening. Should be nothing happening. It's doing not. So let's go back for the editor. In the editor we will going for the form here. We have sign in here, and I'll just clean this up and say got it here, extends main HTML, and then we need the block for the header. Header, and block, just do it here, and then you have the content. And the content, the header, I will use the h1 and call it login, sign in we call it. And then inside here I want to say the form, and the method should be post, and we will add something inside here and say we'll first have the label called email, and then we need the input type, call it text, the name is email, ID is email, and autofocus and required. Then we copy these lines one time, sorry, so we can have a new line. We'll have to call it password. We'll have password field, name here, and the ID is password, and we don't have those, only the requirement. Then we need the input submit here, and the value should be sign in, and I think it will be better to have a button submit here. That's the perfect to recording and show you how we're doing, because then I'm just thinking about the code I've done before and then rethinking, and sometimes I change my mind and change the content. Let's see how it's working in the browser now. If I reload, the connection failed, so we have done some error inside, and it's expected here, I can see, and it's the same here in the block. Let's go back for the browser and reload, and now you can see we have my beauty logo and sign in, and that's one, but it doesn't look like it's much right now. So let's go in for the style sheet and see how we want to work with this. We're going back for the style sheet, and here's what we're going to do. The first thing we want to do is just clean up the body. We want to say margin is 0, padding is 0, and then we want to say the background. I want the background for the dark gray one, and that's the hex code we got. And the font family, I love the way the Bootstrap having the font family, so I will just say Helvetica. That's if you're on a Mac. Else we need to Arial and Sans. And then the font size general should be 16 pixels, and the line height should be 1.5 of the size. So let's go back for the browser and see the change already. And now you can see the changes. And let's go back for the editor and do more. We're having in the form, we should have yeah, we need a little bit, because I know we have a container. So I think that should be in the main. Section, I think it's name, class container. I'll just look up my notes to see what's happening. I think that's a section, I'm not 100% sure. It's correct, it's a section, but the section should be around the header here. So I have a little mistake. Just fix it and push this in. And then we're good to go again. Let's go back for the style sheet we're creating. And let's creating about the content. The container. And inside the container we need to say the position should be fixed, because we want to have it in a central way. My idea is the login screen should be placed in the middle of the screen, and that's why we want position fixed, and we need to say the top 50% and left 50%. And then we need to transform. The transform is, it's taking something, I cannot remember that, and then we translate minus 50%. So the idea to use this command in style sheet, it's you're taking the object you're on and take and minus the position of it with the half and the high and the low. So I can make this dynamic and change whatever I want. So if it's getting higher and lower, then it's dynamically work around. And then I want to 500 pixels in the width, and the padding should be 25 pixels. And the border should be 1 pixel, solid black, and background should be white, and border radius should be 50%. So let's go in for the browser and see the new work. Now you can see we have it in the central on the screen, and that's perfect. So now we want to have the header, this one, everything we have inside here should be center, and then we will create a nice flow for the ugly default buttons. That's what we want to do now. Scroll down, and first we want to say the label. Nope. The header should be text align center, and then we say the labels. Label is where we have like the email and the password put in. We want to say display blocked, and that's having that effect on this should be on the new line and this on the new line. So let's reload and see what's happening, and it's working pretty well. And now the logo is central of the screen in this block, so that's what we want. Now let's see about the type of text. We need to have an effect if we have a type on the text, and we need it for the password too. I know we can create a general one for the inputs, but for now I'll just leave it with this, because then we know what we're working with. And I'm not using SAS unless it's something fantasy for this project right now. Maybe it will come in later in the future, but for now it's just pure CSS, because we only need a little bit style and something like that. And then we need the borders should be 0, and the border button should be 1 pixel solid, and then a nice hex code I have found, 3B4A, that's the right color, and padding should be 5, 0. That's meaning the top and the bottom should be 5 pixels, and left and right should be nothing. And the outline should be none. That's meaning the annoying when you click on the field. You can see it here when you click here. It's focus. And the silly blue color, I want to remove this. That's you can do with the outline none. And the margin and the bottom, that's meaning when you have the input, then for the next step we need a little margin here, and I'll say 50 pixels, and then I need the font size should be 60. If I'm going back now and reload the page, it's shouldn't look much better out now. And you can see it's autofocus email, and I could use whatever I want with the password too. The last thing we need now is the sign in, and I'll show you how we can do this. The button here, and we just set the button, and the button should be width 100%, and the border radius, radius, here we go, should be on 50%, 50 pixels, sorry. And then we need to have the padding on 5 and 0, top, bottom 5 pixels, left, right, nothing. The background for this button should be, I've taken the color from Bootstrap. I think that's a very nice color. It's a blue one. And then we have the border 1 pixel solid, and then I take the blue color again from Bootstrap. I really love the colors, so that's what we want. And the color button should be white, and the font size should be like the input should be the 16 pixels, and cursor when we move it around should be pointer. Let's going back and see what's happening. And now we have the nice button, but we could do nothing and just reload, and it's working. So let's continue. So now it's the styling, and I only need alert button because we need that for later use. I will just design it up here. We have an alert, and we have an alert danger. For all the alerts, I want to say margin bottom should be 20 pixels, and then we need the padding 5 pixels. in the top and bottom, and 10 in the left and the right. And then we need the border radius, it should be 5 pixels. It's not so huge radius button we have here. The background for the background color should be the red one, F8D7DA, and then the border should be 1 pixels solid, and then one more, 5CDCB. That's the color for this one, and then the color inside should be 721C24, and that's the color for that. So let's testing it out. We don't want it to use it right now because we don't have any error, but I will make it here, so say div, and then we need alert danger, and then we say login failure, something like that, and going back and reload. So I think I have a better word. Let's say we will say the login information is incorrect. That's what we want, and this is the spelling error, so let's see what's happening. Yes, I love the spelling error, and now it's correct. Let's go in for the browser and reload it. You can see it here. Now it is showing every time, but I will of course show that only if there's an error. And the login, or about it's working or not, I will do this in the next video. So thank you so much for having to here today, and I really appreciate your time. And if you finish this video, I really hope you enjoy and see how I'm working with my code. And of course, I hope you want to subscribe to this channel. You can go in the right corner and press the ding, and then you can subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, please make it comments below, and I appreciate you to answer you, of course. And then I hope you give it a like and share button and add it for your playlist. Thank you so much, and hope to see you next time. Bye.